Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me speak about domestic violence and the Violence Against Women Act that was established to protect women with the goal of eliminating domestic violence. 1 out of 3 women in America will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Therefore, it has likely impacted everyone here listening to me. Whether a mother, a sister, a friend, a coworker, a distant relative, or even perhaps yourself. I know it has personally affected me, so I can understand my clients that are victims of domestic violence. When I refer to domestic violence, it is not only married women. This includes acts committed by intimate partners, a former spouse, a relationship with a shared child, or any two people living under the same roof. In the next few minutes, I would like to discuss problems the Violence Against Women Act is not efficiently solving for my clients who do not want to permanently separate from their partners. For starters, law enforcement is the primary tool to solve the issue of domestic violence. The Violence Against Women Act gives funding to states that enforce mandatory arrest and no-drop policies. These come along with orders of protection, which ultimately force the relationship to end. The accused goes to jail, and the victim's rights to press charges or not press charges are taken away because of no-drop rules. Therefore, a woman again is put in a situation where they are disempowered, have no control, and feelings of helplessness. What rights, if any, does a victim have that wants to remain in contact with her partner and communicate with them? They are not even allowed couples counseling due to protective orders. The reality is, these relationships established because two people cared about each other, so they may want to work through their issue rather than be forced to separate, especially if they have a child together. Another issue that needs to be addressed is funding. The funding for the Violence Against Women Act is again focused on law enforcement measures. There is a lack of funding for transitional housing and preventative programs. If housing was more available to victims, they would be more willing to leave their partner who they may rely on financially. Women are turned away from housing because there is no room for them, leaving them with nowhere to turn. If they do not think they will have a safe place to stay after leaving, they will be reluctant to leave or call the police when there is an incident because of mandatory arrest. The fact is, many women do not want their partner to go to jail, so they will fail to report acts, leaving them in dangerous situations. The first thing to be enacted to solve the problems is to supply more money towards transitional housing for victims, allowing them a safe haven. The second would be to establish guidelines for prosecutors so they do not have all the control in pressing charges. They should have to look further into relationships as well as the wants of the victim. This way, they can compromise a solution instead of leaving all the power in the hands of the prosecutor. Orders of protection should also have some leeway depending on the individual situation. In some cases, supervised contact and couples therapy should be allowed. This way, the therapist can look into the causes of abuse and attempt to find solutions for the relationship. The therapist's professional opinion should then be given to the judge on whether the order can be lifted. The accused and the victim should be given the opportunity to work through their issue rather than focus the entire effort on punishing the abuser, which is shown to be insufficient. Every situation is different, yet each case of domestic violence is being treated as one size fits all, which is not solving the problem. By devoting more money towards transitional housing and allowing minimal supervision with partners, it will empower women who are looking to heal their relationships. More attention needs to be placed on the root causes of domestic violence in order to prevent it. Right now, we are working only to address the problem after it has happened. To end, I would like to make clear that the goal of the Battered Women's Movement was to end violence, not relationships.